that's probably not good. Smoke coming out of the brakes.
Yep. I think you got a caliper sticking.
Yeah.
Smells like it. You can smell it too.
It's a little smoky.
Yeah.
It's a little smoky. Once you heard them grinding for a week or two, you know it's time to replace your brakes. So let's do a brake job. Now, in all honesty here, I did know that my brakes were shot when I bought this car. Not really shot, but basically shot. We've got a little bit of a hung up caliper. As you saw in the intro, it does tend to smoke occasionally from that corner. So at that point in time, I did go ahead and order all of the brakes. So calipers, pads, rotors, hoses, hardware, all of it. I'm just gonna replace all four corners and get it done. I don't know how old these brakes are. The car's been sitting for a long time. They grind. I don't know if you could hear that, but they're not healthy. And I don't want to chance it because I've got my 2500 road trip coming up in less than a month. So just replace it all, replace all the fluid, get it all back to business, and we're good to go. So I have all brand new centric braking stuff, and this is not going to be a very exciting episode. It's not going to be a very long episode. It's going to be me taking brakes off, me putting brakes on, and then making sure that it fixes my problem. Now, another issue that this car has had, if you've been paying attention to any of the other video on the 93 940, is it does have an issue with shifting and it's hanging up. It's not allowing it to shift quite as well as it should. And I have adjusted the TV cable just a little bit, and that did fix some of it, but I'm thinking that because the brakes are not fully releasing and it is kind of dragging, that's also exacerbating my problem of the car not wanting to shift because it's pushing against those dragging brakes. So I'm hoping by fixing some of the brakes, it will actually fix some of my transmission problem. At least that's what I'm thinking. So anyway, 93 940 Turbo Volvo Wagon. Isn't it wonderful? It's got to get brakes done today because it goes to tint tomorrow. Because it'll be a lot better with tint. And it's a lot better to sleep in when everybody can't see you when you're sleeping in the back of a thing with all kinds of windows. Anyway, so here we go. Time to work. You may also notice that these wheels actually look pretty decent. We did actually clean up these wheels since the last video where you saw me doing the wheel cleaning competition between the 2 professional grade items and 2 normal person items from a car parts store. And then we actually went through and we rubbed down these barrels with WD-40 and a Scotch-Brite pad, a real fine Scotch-Brite pad, which cleaned up the barrels a ton. But there's still at least one more phase left where we're going to continue removing all the brake dust and then also polish this lip out. But that'll be after I get the brakes done because, as you can see right now, it's creating a lot of brake dust. So let's get this part done first, and then we'll go back to making the car beautifuler. Beautifuler? More beautiful? Yeah, more beautiful.
Are you into the piston yet? Or you still have a little bit of steel?
I'm hoping it's still a little bit of steel. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way.
If you're in the piston, that would be kind of fun.
We'll see.
I mean, you still have pad on this side, so but you can see how pink it is.
Yeah.
The thing is getting to like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, it literally was on fire when I pulled into a parking lot. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's bad. You can see that. I mean, look at the hot spotting on the rotor.
Yeah. That Jeep that I did, you remember that green one?
Yeah.
With the brake, we did like a full brake restoration on it. I temp gunned the rotor. It was like 990 degrees. I'm like, yep, we're putting calipers and hoses and all of it.
Hoses. All right, as you can see, there may be a little bit of hot spotting on that rotor surface. Just a little bit. So it was probably dragging caliper a little, and
You can hear it. Come on.
Well, there was still a little. Not really any brake pad to have on that one. And the inner pad
Is much worse.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that.
It needs a brake job, sir.
Quit trying to sell me stuff.
Mr. Customer, when did it start screeching? I don't know. 2 or 3 months ago? Oh, whoopsie. Outside pad? There's no pad. Inside pad. Oops. All right, now let's talk about proper way of doing this. The caliper is hanging. I should not do that. Correct. I am also replacing these hoses, but that's not an excuse. Don't do what I do. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get my Angry Farmer penetrant and use that. This is not in any way a product review or endorsement in any way of this product, but it's called Angry Farmer Penetrating Spray. So what this is a vindication of your marketing, sir. I saw this on the counter. It's got a flaming dude. It's called Angry Farmer, so I'm buying it. And I did. Oops. Alright. Yeah, that rotor's a little huffed. Just a little bit. No big deal. Just a brake job. Now, one of the things that is kind of annoying is finding the correct parts for these things. In my case, I went to the place that sells everything you'll ever need. Rock Auto.
All the parts your car will ever need.
Yes, as Derek would sing for you.
Unless you need a brake balancer strut for a Hyundai Elantra.
Yes.
Then we don't have that.
Unless you need something right now, or something really random. Big problem with Rock Auto is the fact that it's not right now, and you have nobody to talk to if it's not correct. Case in point, we're actually waiting on some parts that were supposed to have been here 6 days ago because we paid for 2-day shipping, and they're not here yet. And you have no recourse, which is one of the reasons it's really nice to buy parts from a local parts store. Unfortunately, in this case, nobody local had these. Piece of cake, right? So front rotors and pads are on. Right front corner was most definitely cooked. Left front actually looked pretty decent for all intents and purposes. It did have some scoring on the rotor, but not that big of a deal. Yeah, so that's easy. No big deal. Fronts are done. Let's move on to the rears. Rears are definitely not as bad a shape as the fronts. Worn, pitted, but not really, really terrible. Not a lot of pad material left, so yeah, we're replacing these two. Okay. We're good. Whew. So, what did we learn? Well, we learned maybe just because it's a nice, kindly old man, don't believe him. The driver's side, rear, not bad. Still have about half my pad life left. If you care to see it. I'm not sure that you can, but that's where it is. The passenger side, on the other hand, whole different story. This is the passenger side rotor, and as you can see, the inside of it is in very not great shape. Outside of it was, Pads-wise, though, they were gone. Absolutely gone. So it was actually dragging on the right front corner and the left rear corner is what it seems like, which would give me my interesting braking characteristics when I would hit the brakes, and it would kind of do one of these. But all new brakes, no big deal. It's like 3 hours worth of work, if that. Only complication I had was one stripped out bolt on the driver's side. So run a thread chaser through that, and we're pretty much in shape. So time to toss this wheel on, bleed the brakes all the way around, and see if this improves my car, which it should. Shouldn't have made it worse. The other question is, did it fix some of my transmission issues? And technically I found almost free power because I was dragging brakes, so it's actually going to make more power to the ground now. How about that? Whew. Even I can work for a living, see? Did you hear that? Nothing. So there you go, job well done. Brake job on a 93 940 Turbo Volvo Wagon is complete. I have bedded the brakes, I have bled all my corners, which actually did take quite a long time to get all of the fluid through it. We went ahead and did a complete brake flush while we were there because I, again, don't know how long this fluid's been in there, so part of the problem when you buy a used car, you never really know what you're buying. Total package, I would say somebody probably pad slapped this thing at some point in time in the reasonably distant past. The left front corner was essentially the only, so the driver's corner was essentially the only one that actually had good brakes still left on it. Everything else was pretty well cooked. So kindly old man may have fed me a line of poo, but whatever. It's only like $300 and some odd in parts. Really wasn't that bad. Everything went together pretty well, and life is good. As you can see, I also do have my tint done. Thank you very much to Tim and the folks at Performance Auto Spa for getting my tint done on this wagon, so it looks much better. Wheels are coming along nicely. We're gonna go to the polishing phase next to get those things nice and cleaned up. And then it's time to go on the 2500 road trip, which you will be seeing very shortly on this channel. For those who do not know, that's what the reason I purchased this car. Short little spiel, $2,500 cars, 2,500 miles. The first year we did this, we went from Columbus, Ohio to Devil's Tower, Wyoming and back. Last year when we did this, we went from Columbus, Ohio, all the way up through Michigan, across the UP, up through Minnesota, all the way back down. This year we're gonna make it even more epic in this fall. We're going all the way up the coast, the north coast, all the way up to the very tip top of Maine, and then coming down the Atlantic coast from Maine through Boston, New York, and home. It's gonna end up being about 2,900 miles because, let's be honest, right now used car prices are rough, so we're spending a little bit more than we normally would. But that will be coming in a shortly, actually, you're also going to see another vehicle here before we leave. Phil's bringing over his Pontiac Vibe that he took on last year's trip that he's taking on this year's trip. And we're going to do bearings and axles on that thing. So stay tuned for that. More normal car stuff. We do a lot of that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It wasn't very exciting, but we appreciate you being here and showing your support for our channel. As always, drop a comment in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comments, whatever. Lots of things ahead for this little Volvo wagon, so I'm excited about it. Please do click on the like button because you made it this far. It lets YouTube know that you're paying attention. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you shortly with more cool stuff here at Lucore Automotive. We'll see you. Bye-bye.